Ever wondered about the man who lit up our world, yet found himself in Edison's shadow? The one who dared to dream in volts and amps, who envisioned a world connected by invisible energy. The genius who spoke to pigeons and waged a battle of currents? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on an electrifying journey into the life of Nikola Tesla. In the year of 1856, amidst a fierce lightning storm, a child was born in a small village in the Austrian Empire, now known as Croatia. This wasn't just any ordinary birth, it was as if nature itself was heralding the arrival of a boy who would one day harness its raw power. This was the birth of Nikola Tesla, a genius in his own right. Young Nikola was no ordinary child. By the age of 5, he already had an inventive mind, crafting a water wheel that could be powered by a simple stream. His mother, Juka, herself an inventor of small household appliances, likely marveled at her son's early show of ingenuity. Indeed, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Tesla's journey was far from smooth, however. He battled childhood illness. When he got older, he studied at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz, and it was there he first envisioned the possibility of alternating current. His pursuit of this dream saw him move to Budapest and then to Paris, working for the Continental Edison Company. Yet the city that never sleeps, New York, beckoned him. In 1884, Tesla arrived in New York City with little more than a few cents in his pocket, but his mind was a treasure trove of electrifying ideas. He found work with Edison, but soon realized that direct current was not his path. Tesla had grander visions, ones that revolved around alternating current. And so our story begins. A story of a man who dared to dream differently, a man who found himself at odds with the popular currents of his time, a man who would change the world as we know it. That's right, Nikola Tesla entered the world with a bang, or should I say, a zap. As a child, young Nikola was no ordinary child. As early as 5 years old, he was already demonstrating a knack for innovation. He built a small water wheel, completely different from those he had seen in his village. This was not a child playing with toys, but a young mind exploring the laws of the universe, testing, learning, tinkering. His mother, Juka, was an inventor in her own right. She had never received a formal education, yet she could craft all sorts of ingenious household appliances. From her, Nikola inherited not just his sharp mind, but also his creative spirit. Juka was also a storyteller, and she filled young Nikola's mind with tales of far-off lands and advanced technologies. These stories stoked the fires of his imagination, fueling his insatiable curiosity and his drive to understand the world. But the path of an inventor is never a straight line. Tesla's journey to becoming a full-fledged inventor was filled with twists and turns. His formal education began in Karlovac, Croatia, where he was an outstanding student, so much so that his teachers often believed he was cheating. But it was at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz where Tesla's life took a significant turn. While studying electrical engineering, Tesla became fascinated with electricity. He was particularly interested in the concept of alternating current. He spent many hours in the lab, experimenting, trying to understand, and ultimately dreaming of harnessing this power. But Tesla was not just a dreamer, but a doer. His fascination with alternating current was not just an academic interest. He saw its potential, its power, and he wanted to bring this power into every home, every street, every city. He envisioned a world connected not by wires and cables, but by invisible currents of electricity. But this was just the beginning of Tesla's journey. From his childhood in Croatia to his studies in Graz, Tesla was gathering the knowledge, the skills, and the determination that would lead him to change the world. His story is a testament to the power of curiosity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. As the saying goes, like mother, like son, eh? Tesla's journey wasn't all smooth sailing, however. After an illness and a brief but impactful stint at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz, where the concept of alternating current began to take shape in his mind, Tesla found himself on the move again. His restless spirit and insatiable curiosity led him to Budapest, where he worked at the Central Telephone Exchange. Here he fine-tuned his understanding of electromagnetic fields and resonance. His mind, always buzzing with ideas, was like a bee, flitting from one concept to the next. From Budapest, Tesla's journey took him to the City of Lights, Paris. Here he landed a job with the Continental Edison Company working on improving electrical equipment. But Tesla was not one to settle. His dreams were bigger, his ideas bolder, and so his quest for innovation led him across the Atlantic to a place that was fast becoming the epicenter of technological advancement. That's right, Tesla was New York City bound. But wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before he could board the ship to the New World, there was a detour. Tesla found himself working with none other than the Wizard of Menlo Park, Thomas Edison himself. The two brilliant minds, one a savvy businessman and the other a dreamer and inventor, were as different as chalk and cheese. Tesla, the eternal innovator, couldn't quite see eye to eye with Edison's unwavering support of direct current. Tesla believed in the potential of alternating current, a concept that was met with skepticism and resistance. The friction led to an inevitable parting of ways. But something good came out of this clash of currents. It stoked Tesla's determination to prove the superiority of alternating current. And so, with his pockets nearly empty but his mind teeming with ideas, Tesla set sail for the United States. The year was 1884. A new chapter was about to begin in the bustling city of New York. The stage was set for Tesla's grand entrance. His dreams were as towering as the skyscrapers that dotted the city's skyline. And he was ready to electrify the world. But the Big Apple, New York City, was calling his name. Now here's where the plot thickens. The war of currents. Picture this. Two heavyweight inventors, each backing a different form of electricity. On one side, Thomas Edison, the champion of direct current or DC. On the other, our man Nikola Tesla, the ardent advocate of alternating current or AC. This wasn't just a professional rivalry, folks. This was a war of ideologies, a battle for the future of electricity itself. Edison was firmly entrenched in the DC camp, the current that flows continuously in one direction. Tesla, on the other hand, saw the potential in AC, the current that changes direction periodically. Edison might have had the home field advantage being an established figure in the American scientific community. But Tesla wasn't one to back down. He knew the limitations of DC. It couldn't be transmitted over long distances, and it required a power plant every square mile to be effective. AC, however, could be transmitted over vast distances with the help of transformers. Tesla saw AC as the key to illuminating every home in America, and he was determined to prove it. But here's the kicker. Tesla was working for Edison when he developed the idea of AC. Talk about a plot twist. When Tesla presented his AC ideas to Edison, well, let's just say the reaction was less than enthusiastic. Edison dismissed AC as impractical and dangerous. But Tesla, ever the maverick, wasn't deterred. He knew he had a game-changer on his hands, and so he did what any self-respecting inventor with a revolutionary idea would do. He quit his job, parted ways with Edison, and set out to develop AC on his own. This marked the beginning of Tesla's solo journey, a journey that would ultimately change the world as we know it. So Tesla did what any self-respecting inventor would do. He went solo. And that is how the war of currents really kicked off. Tesla's big break came when he teamed up with George Westinghouse. This dynamic duo wasn't just about making a quick buck, they were about to change the world. In the late 19th century, during a time when gas lamps still lit up the streets and candles were the go-to for indoor lighting, they had a vision of an illuminated world, a vision of power at the flick of a switch. And what better way to showcase this vision than at the grand stage of innovation, the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. Tesla and Westinghouse arrived with a mission to illuminate the entire fair with their alternating current system. A daunting task, to say the least, but if anyone could do it, it was this electrifying pair. The World's Fair was a spectacle of human innovation, with exhibits from all around the globe. But even amidst this cornucopia of inventions, Tesla and Westinghouse's display stood apart. They lit up the fairgrounds with 100,000 incandescent lamps, all powered by their AC system. The crowd was awestruck. It was as if they had brought a piece of the sun down to Earth. But it wasn't just about the lights. Tesla demonstrated the safety of AC by passing high-frequency AC power through his body to produce light. This daring display not only debunked the myth that AC was dangerous, but also showcased Tesla's showmanship. This event was a turning point in the war of currents. It showcased the potential of AC power to the world. The success of alternating current at the fair was the beginning of a new era, an era of bright electric lights and powerful machines, an era that we're still living in today. The impact of this event cannot be overstated. It wasn't just about winning a war against direct current, it was about lighting the path to the future. It was about proving that the power of AC wasn't just a fanciful dream, but a tangible reality that could change the world. It was like watching a magic show, but the magic was science. Now, let's not gloss over Tesla's quirks. Because, let's face it, a genius often comes wrapped in eccentricities, and Tesla certainly had a few. For starters, Tesla had a fascination, some might say obsession, with the number 3. He would walk around a building 3 times before entering, and his daily routine often revolved around this magic number. And then there were the pigeons. Tesla had a deep love for these city-dwelling birds. He would often be seen feeding them in the park, and even brought injured ones back to his hotel room to nurse them back to health. But it didn't stop there. Tesla once confessed to having fallen in love with a particular white pigeon. He said, "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me." A strange love story indeed, but who are we to question the heart of a genius? But the eccentricities didn't overshadow his incredible mind. Tesla had an eidetic memory, which is a fancy way of saying he could recall images and objects in great detail after only a few instances of exposure. This ability allowed him to visualize intricate inventions entirely in his mind before putting them to paper. And let's not forget his linguistic prowess. Tesla wasn't just fluent in his native Serbian. Oh no, he mastered 8 languages: Serbian, Czech, English, French, German, Hungarian, Italian and Latin. Not too shabby, right? But the true testament to Tesla's genius was his relentless pursuit of innovation. He was a man who dared to dream big, to imagine a world far beyond the confines of his time. He envisioned a world connected by invisible energy, a world where information could be transmitted wirelessly. He was a visionary, a dreamer, and a man who refused to be confined by the limitations of his era. So yes, Tesla was a bit unusual. He had quirks and odd habits. But these eccentricities were just a part of the complex tapestry that was Nikola Tesla. After all, it's often the ones who are bold enough to be different who end up changing the world. But hey, who are we to judge a genius? Despite his brilliance, Tesla's later years were marked by financial struggles and obscurity. As the saying goes, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house. Tesla was a man with a mind full of revolutionary ideas, but with pockets far from full. His dream of creating a global wireless communication system, which he called the World Wireless System, remained a dream. It was an ambitious project, one that would transmit messages, telephony and even facsimile images across the globe. But alas, the funding for this innovative venture fell through and the project was abandoned, leaving Tesla in a financial lurch. This period of Tesla's life was fraught with hardship. He lived in a series of hotels, leaving behind unpaid bills. His day-to-day existence was often funded by a close circle of friends and benefactors who believed in his genius, even when the world seemed to have forgotten him. Yet, in these challenging times, Tesla never lost his spark. He continued to work on new ideas, filing for patents and dreaming of inventions that the world was not yet ready for. He envisioned a world powered by free, renewable energy. He talked about harnessing the energy of the Earth's ionosphere, and he even proposed an idea for a ring around the equator that would allow travel at incredible speeds. In his later years, Tesla became somewhat of a recluse, his only companions being the pigeons he so adored. He spent his final years in a small hotel room in New York City, feeding his beloved pigeons and working on his theories and inventions. Yet despite his financial difficulties and obscurity, Tesla never stopped dreaming or inventing. His ideas were so ahead of their time that it took years, even decades, for the world to catch up. Even in the face of adversity, Tesla's spirit remained unbroken, his mind always buzzing with the possibilities of what could be. His dreams were the dreams of a future that we are only just beginning to realize. Today, Tesla's legacy is everywhere. His relentless pursuit of the unseen, the unheard, the unimagined has truly shaped the contours of our modern existence. Every time you swipe your smartphone, send a text or log into your Wi-Fi, you're interacting with a world that Tesla envisioned over a century ago. From the alternating current that powers our homes to the idea of wireless transmission that birthed radio and Wi-Fi, Tesla's genius echoes in every corner of our technology-infused lives. His Tesla coil, it's not just a science experiment, it's the grandfather of the wireless charging pads we use today. And let's not forget, Tesla's vision also gave rise to the electric vehicle revolution. His name adorns one of the world's leading electric car manufacturers, a fitting tribute to a man who dared to dream of a world powered by clean, renewable energy. Tesla's fingerprints are all over our modern world, and that, my friend, is the power of imagination.